Hey everyone, nice to see you guys. I haven't got much work done today, but I still wanted to not postpone this again. So, can you guys hear me? I always have to double check this at the beginning. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, guys, just so that I know for sure, because I'm always a little bit worried about whether this is working or not. You can. Great. Thank you, Shibi. Hi, everyone. Hello, all my favorites. I won't, I was going to say I will say hi to everyone. I'm always worried I'm going to miss somebody. So I won't say a hi to everyone today. That sounds terrible, but it's just because I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, so today is not going to be super informative. It's just you coming on my quote unquote field study with me. Oh, I can't not say hi now. Hi, Heavy. Hi, Diana. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Shibby. Who else have I got up here? Hey, Skinny. Hey, Charles. Hello, Elosa. Hello. Who else have we got here? Is that everybody who's been saying hello? Was Trial Junkie in here too? Hi. Have I missed anyone? Dino was in it earlier. Mimi. All my faves are here. Awesome. If I missed anybody, know that I love you. And I'm just trying to see if I can make sure I see everybody. Anyway, so there was no kangaroo sighting yesterday, guys, unfortunately, because it was raining. But the rain has cleared, and I'm here in the mountains for one last evening. So I will try and get it, and I will certainly upload it as a short if I do get the kangaroo. So for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, kangaroo the kangaroo topic. Sorry, I just got distracted. Diana, stop discording me at the same time. I can't multitask. Anyway, the kangaroo story is just that I was doing this field study the other day, and I'll explain what the field study is in a minute. But I was walking in the bush, and a kangaroo kind of just caught my attention from the corner of my eye. I spooked it, and it bounced off. So I don't think you actually see it in the video. And I was saying to Heavy on when we were chatting yesterday that I was trying to go out and get another video because apparently this kangaroo eats at the back of this property every day, but it gets spooked easily. So anyway, hopefully we may see it today, my last evening here. Okay, guys, let's watch my little field studies video. It's just you walking with me basically on a trail in this local area. Really, really important that this is not the Monon High Bridge. It's nothing like it. It's not in Indiana. I'm in Australia. But wait, okay. Didi, what am I waiting for? Did I finish all my work? No. I'm just here chatting and enjoying myself right now. I didn't. I've done a little bit this morning, but it's 2 o'clock now. I did see one client as well. I had one telehealth client, and I'm going for a massage this evening too. I mean, come on, it's a mumcation too, right? But I have done a lot. So I went from so I'm giving you lots of information here. We had to close inactive files, and the clinic owners were like, you have to be below 25% of your caseload that has no future appointments. And I was at like, about 60% of my caseload. I haven't closed files from, for months. And so, anyway, I am now, you'll be proud to hear, at 25%. So, we got this. Koalas are terrifying, Charles. Koalas can be cranky. Yeah, kangaroos not so much. Kangaroos are bulky, and so if they kicked you, they could hurt you, but they're not really trying to go out to hurt you. They're pretty friendly little. Well, they're not even friendly. They're just pretty um docile animals. But yeah, koalas have chlamydia. Okay, naughty koalas. Also, interesting fact, koalas are not soft really. They're like kind of like almost like a bit woolly. Yeah. Hey Trial Junkie. Thank you for sharing my short earlier today too. I love all of you guys. You guys are the best. Become my new best friends, all of you. Okay, so my field study is me walking on a trail, testing out some of the stuff we were talking about with eye gaze and attention and memory. Hey Peggy, nice to see you. So oh Gretchen, hello, I missed you. there too. I was looking away. There you go, memory and attention. So, have a watch. I did a fun little intro on Canva too. I'm like trying to be all techie now. Um, Before I get started as well, I've edited the first part of the psych panel stuff too. So I'm excited to pop that out probably. I'm trying to think, maybe over the weekend. We're going to have to do multiple parts because, of course, me and one of my closest friends, we're not going to get through it all in 2 hours. So we've got about an hour and a half ish, and then we'll do another recording and maybe more because I really got the two colleagues into the case. They were absolutely shocked and interested and entertained. So I think I've converted some more people to be interested in Delphi. Okay, so field studies time. So I'm out walking on some trails in the mountains here where I'm on a little mini break. You can hear some water in the background. There's cascades around here. It's really beautiful. But it really gives you a sense of what it's like to walk on trails during the day. There's not a lot of people around here. It's a work day. And just how desolate it is and how scary it would be if you were cornered by someone. We are just a couple of days into spring, well, several days into spring now in Australia, and so it's the weather's slightly better, but for people like myself, we're still needing to wear jumpers. I don't know how the people in Delphi were not wearing jumpers on the day that they were on those trails, because goodness, it's cold here, and it's probably about, I think last time I checked it was about 12 or 14 degrees Celsius, which for me is super cold. And you'll see that most of the shrubbery here is kind of ferns and tropical stuff, a lot of stuff that's evergreen. So there isn't really the same sort of look of the trails, or this particular trail, because there are no real bare trees here. Some of the trails that I go to do have trees that have lost their leaves, some deciduous trees, but this one doesn't, so it's a lot brushier, which, you know, obviously creates a slightly different landscape when you're walking. It's interesting because I started out on the trail thinking, oh, it's pretty easy to remember when you've walked past people, because there aren't many people around, but now that I've continued on it, I've probably gone past about 4 or 5 groups of people, mostly couples, one group of 3, one gentleman on his own. I saw one dog from the distance. It was obviously with a dog walker that I couldn't see, but it shows actually, even when I'm actually kind of paying more attention than the average person would, because I have this on my mind, how it can all start to blur. And it makes sense of why people may not have remembered each other. That said, if we go by the official narratives and testimonies, there weren't that many groups on the trails at the same time. And it seems like the majority of the people in the later groups after the crime did remember each other. Interestingly, people obviously aren't as friendly here as what was stated about Delphi, because not everyone said hello. Some people have given a little nod. Some people have looked at me strangely. Maybe that's because I'm strange. I guess because I'm a woman on my own walking around and I'm not from around here. Not that I think it would be that obvious, but sometimes in sort of slightly more rural, and it's not super rural, but slightly more rural areas, they're kind of used to the people that they know. Oh, I just got to some beautiful waterfalls here. And now there's a trail going up here, and you can hear that I'm already panting, and I haven't even gone up anything steep. It shows how unfit I am. Hence the walk. I thought I would do the walk partly to do some of this testing out of things, but also partly because I wanted to try and start getting fit again in time for spring and summer. just testing out some of the memory research that I was talking about last week, I definitely noticed that my memory is better for two groups of people. The ones who are super friendly and the ones that are a bit awkward. And in between, those are the people you're more likely to forget. So there are a few couples that went past and they were, they kind of acknowledged me with a little, nod or smile. And I don't really remember them much, but the ones that were more cheerful and went out of their way to say hello, I remembered. And the ones that, there was really only one, but then there was another group that ignored me, a group of girls. They were probably the ones I noticed more because I guess that behaviour is a bit strange because I am the sort of person that would smile at anyone I walk past. With every increasing set of people that I walk past, it gets harder to remember who I've seen. Just sort of a good idea. If you actually wore your phone or a GoPro or something and walked around, you could film your trip and then test your memory on the way back. Of course, that wouldn't be a particularly valid test of memory though, because you're already planning ahead that you're trying to remember everyone, which you wouldn't really be doing if you were on a normal walk just with your friends or out on your own for a bit of exercise. One other thing I noticed, like I said, the temperature here is probably now about 14, I would say, or 15 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, guys, but it's not super, super cold, obviously. I'm starting to actually get a bit warm and sweaty because it's lovely and sunny. But I'm sniffing. You can see I'm sniffing. I'm not sick. I'm not crying. I'm not upset. And I'm sniffing. And it reminded me of Libby in the Bridge Guy video. So the sniffing, is quite likely, which I think most of us thought to just be a result of the temperature and the conditions as opposed to distress. I really urge you to do this. If anyone's confused about the trails and the eyewitness statements, find a trails near you and take a walk and just see what you notice in terms of your memory, in terms of what sparks your memory, in terms of whether you look up. I noticed that I came to a bit of a fork and I didn't look I think it was to the right when I was walking straight. It depends obviously which direction you're walking in. You're probably usually going to look ahead even if you're turning. You may look ahead a little bit. Oh, I came to a dead end here. That was a pretty useless trail. So you will sometimes look up if you get to a fork and you're turning left and there's a front or a head, but you don't usually look the other way. So the memory and attention research that we were talking about, I'm definitely experiencing that even as I'm being generally more aware. My attention is divided though as well because I'm recording this as I walk. I'm pausing it momentarily between me talking to you guys. So I've been walking for longer than 7 minutes, but so it's interesting, isn't it? If you really just sort of test it out and think about what naturally happens and where you naturally look. Like now I'm about to turn left and there's no part of me worrying about looking to the right. It just wouldn't even occur to me. Particularly if you feel safe, and I feel pretty safe here. I am on my own. It's the middle of the day. Well, realistically, I guess this is a little bit later than the time of day that Abby and Libby would have been walking on that February day. I don't know the time. There you go. We're testing the memory stuff again. I know that I was doing some work and I thought, I'll go for a walk before I start getting prepped for the video that I'm recording this evening with my psych buddies for the channel. And I thought I'll get some exercise in now. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty rainy and I'm in this beautiful part of the world. So I thought I'd get a walk in now and then I'll head back and be back in time to try and get everything all prepared and settled, ready to go at 5 o'clock. But I wouldn't have a clue now. I'm going to guess that we're approximately around 4 o'clock. Let's check it out. 4:07. There you go. I noticed that you don't really hear the sound of people, even their footsteps, until they're within about a 15-second distance of you. And even then it's quite light. No one I've passed today has been particularly loud in their talking. There was a group of 3 girls. They were talking amongst themselves, and that was more noticeable, which I believe is similar to what you would have seen if you passed the teenage girls, the 4 of them, on that day, or any set of teenagers. Groups of 2, they're not particularly loud. There was one group of 2 that had the dog. That was a dog I saw in the distance earlier. The dog was with, I think it was 2 older ladies. Again, I can remember what one of them looked like. And I remember the dog. Always remember the dog. And that was probably a very notable interaction because I love dogs. So it took my attention, and the people were really friendly. They were throwing a stick for the dog, and they had this beaming smile when I looked at them. They said hi, and you could tell that they were happy people who wanted to be friendly and liked the fact that I was looking at their dog. Dog lovers often like that. Not all of them, but a lot of us like it when people admire our dog. I can tell you the breed of the dog. It looked like a little mini fox terrier. It was brown, tan colour and white. But that said, definitely have had special interest in dog breeds and cat breeds throughout my life because I'm a massive animal lover. And so I'm more inclined to notice dogs and know what breed they are and describe them. Oh my goodness. Oh, I should have caught that on camera. It was a kangaroo, guys, or a wallaby. Oh, it scared me though. Interesting, isn't it? So that movement was, I'd say it was right over there. It would have probably been about that 15 seconds away. But notice I only caught it, like I only noticed it when I was about 15 seconds away from it, and it moved. If it hadn't moved, I wouldn't have noticed it. It blends in, even though it's sort of a darker brown colour, which is a bit odd for a kangaroo. Must have been like a darker brown, different type of kangaroo. I don't know my kangaroo breeds. Okay, I've got to navigate over this wet patch. I'm wearing white sneakers today. Not the best choice because it was raining earlier. Anyway, that was interesting, wasn't it, actually? Made my heart jump, definitely. But that's because it was quite a sudden, loud movement. That kangaroo would have probably... I'm trying to think of the size of it. I mean, the shape is different, obviously, to a dog, but I'd say it'd be the size of like a German Shepherd, Alsatian dog. But I only caught a tiny glimpse of it and saw that it was a darker brown and that it was indeed a kangaroo. Initially, I was like, is that a dog? But no, it's a kangaroo, which makes sense. The Airbnb where I'm staying, they said that there will be a kangaroo that comes to have a little snack in the evening at about 5. So I guess it's nearly around that time now. I will try and get a video of that for all my buddies over in America and Canada and the UK and all the other places that all of you beautiful people are from, because you guys don't have kangaroos. And I'm sure you'd find it kind of cute. Now, that's not a normal occurrence in capital cities of Australia, contrary to popular belief. Kangaroos are not hopping around on the street, nor are koalas in every tree, but I'm here in a more rural area. There's a national park around here. As you can see, it's quite bushy, so there are more kangaroos likely to be here, but that's a fairly rare occurrence to see a kangaroo as you're walking around during the day. They are pretty skittish as well, so they don't really like it when we come too close to them, unless they've been socialised at like a koala park zoo type place. Okay, well, I'm going to head back now up towards the houses, so I'm going to switch off, but I will record again if I see the kangaroo. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and you got to see Daisy at the end. Let's remove that now. No, Diana, I was not carrying any weapon. It was interesting, like I was saying, I realized how vulnerable I was when I started thinking about Abby and Libby, because otherwise, yeah, there was no part of me that was concerned about going on that trail. I'm not a particularly strong person. I'm about 5'6" tall. and a fairly slight build. So, and I have no muscles pretty much, like realistically. So I'm a bit of a weakling. So lucky that there wasn't anybody dangerous there. There was this one creepy guy, though, I have to say. He wasn't creepy in the sense that I felt unsafe. He was just creepy in that he was so grumpy. Am I tall, Diana? I didn't think that 5'6" was tall. No, maybe look, I'm probably exaggerating. Maybe like 5'5.5". We always add that little bit of extra. Who knows? It differs from day to day. Oh, except that remember in Delphi, that is suspicious if you change your height. But I do change my height. I don't know. I think I'm 165-ish centimeters. Not that you needed that detail, but yeah, so there was this guy and he was dressed in like all kind of browny sort of camouflagey type clothes. Like it didn't look like army camouflage, but it was that sort of color. And he was older and he had a hat on and he had the grumpiest look on his face. And like I said, I smile at everybody as I go past. Like unless I'm really in the zone or really kind of just don't want to do people. Which there are days like that. Yesterday was one of those days. I did not leave this place the whole day. Oh, except to get Uber Eats. I met him on the driveway to get a pizza. But yeah, anyway, back to this guy. He was a grumpy guy. So I smiled at him and he just kind of didn't even look at me. So I was a bit mean, but he wasn't creepy. There was no one creepy. There was no one there that I felt unsafe around. It's funny though, you do get that energetic feeling, don't you? Like when somebody is unsafe. And this is why I do believe that, you know, the girls, the people on the trail that day were more likely to remember Bridge Guy than they were to remember Rick Allen or Betsy Blair or anyone else on the trails. So makes sense that they all had a recollection of Bridge Guy, but they may have missed other people they walked past because he would have had that energetic sort of creepiness to him. I don't know if anyone here has ever been followed or stalked by someone. I haven't personally. So yeah, I haven't actually ever really been scared in my life. Like I've definitely made silly decisions of like walking places in the dark and up alleyways and things like that. I have a really silly story from when I was about 19, me and two of my best friends who were really short. One of them's nickname was Puny. They were both like 5 foot, oh gosh, even like maybe just 5 foot or 5'1". Anyway, we went on this trip and I couldn't drive at the time. So we decided to catch the train to the coast. And we basically didn't realize that the place that we had booked to stay was not in town. And so we went and we were at the motel and then we wanted to get into town. And the first time around, I'm like, let's walk on the beach the whole way. That's a good idea. Well, basically at the end of the beach, just before the town, there was this lagoon. And again, I was still fine with that. I was like, it's a lagoon. We can definitely just walk across a lagoon. Well, when you're walking across a lagoon with people who are about 5 foot tall, that's not a great idea because the lagoon was actually quite deep. So I ended up holding all of the bags above my head as we tried to swim slash wade through this lagoon. But I still didn't learn my lesson because then later that day, or one day in that holiday, we decided to go out in the evening for dinner. And I didn't want to waste money on a taxi coming back. So we walked on the highway. So three 19-year-old girls, two shorties, and me, Miss Weakling. And we're walking on a highway between, I was probably like, gosh, about 15, 20 minutes walk. So, yeah, lucky that I wasn't the victim of a crime that night. But I'm actually pretty fearless, guys. I'm a big worrywart about like not existential things, but like I worry about like, well, I think you guys can already tell. I always worry about like failing or getting things wrong or embarrassing no, not even embarrassing myself. Actually, I don't really care about embarrassing myself. I used to, but I am not scared of my mortality. And so cancer didn't really scare me. And yeah, I haven't really felt scared when I'm walking around in the dark. That said, since looking more into this case particularly, I've definitely noticed I'm more aware of people around me. So yeah, definitely have had those moments more recently where I've been in a dark car park or just in the dark, but not in the day. And I think that's the thing about this case that makes it so So terrifying. This was in broad daylight. So yeah. Anyway, so that was my field study. There's more funny stuff that I did. So when I got back to the property, I wanted to try and see if you could see like 30 seconds away, like whether like how much detail you would see. So like kind of testing out the fork split to the Mears parking kind of area. It's really impossible to do that without a second person. So then what I did, I'll post this on the community board. I took a picture of the front door and then from that distance, and then I came back and I used Canva to insert a person the right height into it to see if you can see it. But you know, you can't really test this stuff in photographs because what you see in a photo is obviously not the same as what you see when you're there in real life. Like the photo can't capture that unless you blow it up to life size and then it becomes pixelated. So anyway, beside the point, I really needed one of you guys to come and visit. So if any of you are up for a trip to Australia, let me know and come and do some field studies with me. I would send you a ticket, but I'm not that rich. Maybe one day. But yeah, if anyone wants to do field studies with me, if anyone wants to do their own field studies, if you've actually got a willing participant to do it with you, that would be a good idea. So that was really kind of like what I was going to show today. I actually pulled up a little bit more research because that was my least popular video. So let's just do it again. But I was just curious still about some of the stuff around memory. Are you 37, Chibi? I was trying to wonder. I was trying to guess how old all of you guys are. It's hard to know. How old do you think I am? Actually, don't answer that. I think I've said before how old I am. So yeah, just wanted to read a couple of things because I also wanted to clarify the eye gazing kind of research because I quoted 80 to 90% of the time looking down. That is for a more rocky terrain. It's actually about 50 to 65% on more of a normal sort of flat trail path. Oh, Hebby, you're so sweet. I wish I was 30, but no. Skinny, well done. You'll be in the Guinness Book of Records soon. And then I saw she'd be saying 190. And I'm like, wow, 190 years old? I am very far away. I am. There's not many Australian people who are interested in this case. There's a few. But yeah, no one that I've really kind of connected with, which is a shame. Because if I could do a meetup with someone, I actually think that I've convinced my two colleagues, though, that this is an important case to look into. And so many of my clients are interested. Like, I would have so many more subscribers if I unethically advertised my channel to my clients. Some of them were like, hypothetically, if I were to look on YouTube, what would I search to find you? And I'm like, no, you're not meant to do that. Yeah, I mean, I already have you guys, but I'd have like a massive fan club then. That'd be amazing. Okay, so just I'm going to go quickly through the eye tracking stuff and then I'm going to probably go and do some work. So, yeah, so what I was saying before, about 50% on a flat track, about 65% on dirt trails, and then about 80 to 90%, nearly 100% on more demanding terrain. So, I don't know. I mean, that trail looks fairly flat, but there would have been, I guess, a lot of debris because there was lots of leaves on the ground. And also there wasn't the kind of trail gravel that there is now. So I don't know how much they would have been looking down in the way that I said, but bear in mind, Rick Allen being somebody who has a history of depression, of low self-esteem, low self-confidence, I kind of feel like he would be someone who's looking down. Like that's kind of more behavior that is sort of consistent with his confidence and mental health. And then we've got Betsy Blair, and I always forget how old she was. She's not super old, but as we get older, we do spend more time looking down because we don't have what they call, or not, we don't have, but we have a decline in proprioception. That's a really hard word to say, proprioception. And proprioception is basically our ability to kind of sense stuff that's around us in our environment. And that is far better when we're younger, and it declines as we get older. So kids and adolescents can pretty much just sort of feel their way out around them. They can kind of sense what's around them. But yeah, as you get older, that's harder to do. But I don't think Betsy Blair was really that old. I think she may have been in her 50s, but I'm not sure. I'm reading what Mimi said. You were watching my hike on the trail. You missed the wallaby. Don't worry, because I'm going out there and I will find that kangaroo for us today. Unless it rains, I will keep looking. Although the kangaroo apparently gets spooked easily, and I'm quite loud, so I think I could spook it. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched or seen the Looney Tunes character Elmira Duff. So my ex-husband used to like basically call me Elmira. So basically, she is a little girl. I think she's Elmer Fudd's niece, and she goes up to like Bugs Bunny and stuff, and she like grabs Bugs Bunny or any sort of animal and goes, "I love you so much. I'm gonna hug you and kiss you and take you home." And the animal's like, "Ah!" And it's like going crazy. Yeah, that's me. That's me with all animals, except I tend to befriend them. They do tend to like me in the end. All the animals in my home always want to be with me, so I mustn't be doing it that wrong. Yeah, so just going, I'm just interspersing these little memory and attention facts as we go, but they're kind of just in, they kind of like were blended into that field study that I'm calling it. You love Amara, Diana. Well, that's me. That's literally me. Trial Junkie said some people are not comfortable with eye contact 100%. And so I think someone like Rick Allen, based on what we know about him and his mental health history and his lack of confidence, I'm going to guess he probably wasn't, huge on eye contact. Yes, that's right, Charles. I'm a hug him and squeeze him and love him and kiss him. And the animal's just like, oh my gosh, get me out of here. So yeah, I guess that was the main thing I wanted to clarify was the eye gaze, and something else that I was going to clarify. I got a few notes here that I'm looking at. Yeah. Oh, the other thing that I noticed when I was doing my little field study there was I noticed that as there were more groups that I passed, it became harder and harder to remember all the people that I walked past. And then it was only the more kind of salient ones that stuck out, like the people with the dog and the guy that was kind of cranky looking, which I had said in my previous presentation, but definitely noticed that. Definitely noticed the sound thing as well. Like I just didn't really get a feel for people being around me until they were quite close. And that includes the kangaroo/wallaby. I think it was a kangaroo, guys. I don't actually know how to tell the difference. Terrible Australian here, aren't I? Yeah, so I think that was kind of the main stuff that I was going to say about memory and attention. I think the rest that I've already kind of covered. It is, what time is it here? 2:30, I'm guessing then? It must be 1:30. So if it's 1:30 in all those places that you guys are at, so it's 2:30 p.m. So I have a massage booked at 7. So I have to do some work between now and then. That's the plan. So just wanted to say a quick hi, show you my cool field studies video. I was kind of proud of myself for recording it and then making a cute little intro too. And then like I said, I'll post the kangaroo or wallaby. Hi, Tracy. I love this working getaway. Yes, Diane, I'm going to do this every quarter. I've decided every quarter I'm going to do a getaway. I think I'm going to come to this place again because it's so nice. I love it. But I think I'll do like a mixture of places. My next getaway is to a conference. So that will be fun because that's with Ashley, who is one of the psychs who's on my little panel that we're going to be presenting those videos very soon, and we're really, really good buddies. So we're going and we're staying in another Airbnb house that's got like a massive pool, and it's near the coast. So I'm excited about that. My kid's not so excited. It is a neurodivergence conference, Diana. So yeah, all about neurodivergence. I'm really looking forward to it. So you can come, Diana. That's a work trip. Just come and fly over here. It will be fun, Hebby. I love to geek out to psychology stuff. I'm going to send you the details, Diana. Tax deductible. Come visit. Come stay. You can share my room at the Airbnb. Except no, because you never sleep. So no, you can't. I like conferences, Diana. They're not boring. Not psychology ones, anyway. So yeah, next video to come is my exciting one. So it is the Charles, not kinky at all. Diana and I are buddies. Don't read into that. So the psychology one, so the very first video that we've done is about an hour and 45 minutes. What we did was I read out the background information that Westcott provided about Rick, and then we watched bits of the interview and interrogation video. And like I said, the girls who I work with, who were doing the panel with me, were shocked. They were really shocked. And I really asked them not to be biased, because they obviously all know that I am pretty much 100% certain that Rick Allen is innocent, as certain as I can be. But spoiler alert, I feel like a lot of their observations are pretty similar to mine. So we didn't get into talking about Walla. I'm not sure if we're going to get into the ethics stuff, because we may not have time, because the next one is going to be the confessions and the decompensation, and kind of commenting on that, and then kind of getting an idea of what diagnoses would be relevant, and also, getting their final take on whether they think Rick Allen is potentially guilty. But so far, no major arguments. Not going to be unfriending my friends. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I really should get back to my work. I just wanted to do a brief catch up, and really appreciate seeing all of you guys in here. Still also have the Hoosier Harvest Store and the CPS cars video coming. That'll be more of the formal presentation again. But that takes time on Canva, and I'm kind of a bit all over the place at the moment with all this work and stuff that I've got to do. So the next one will be just a chatting that doesn't take too much editing, although I had to edit out so many ums and you knows, like honestly, just so many, because otherwise it was just driving me nuts when I listened back to it. So I have got rid of some of that annoying stuff. So that'll be the next probably 2 videos, and I may try and slip in the Hoosier Harvest Store CPS cards one in between. And watch this space for the kangaroo short. I'll post that as a short, and I will post a photo if I get one too. Everyone, thank you so much. We have got this channel, and I say we, you guys have got this channel to like 206 subscribers and like thousands of views now. I'm just like, what? Okay, maybe not thousands, but a lot, hundreds and hundreds of views. I'm so like beyond shocked. I did not expect that. One last note, actually. So one of my buddies who isn't on YouTube but is in the Delphi space, shout out to Holly if she is watching. She actually let me know that in the Delphi trail, I'm talking about trails now. Delphi trial subreddit, that basically they're using my 2 cars argument. Only they're using it really illogically. So they've adopted my argument that Rick Allen saw 2 cars, and then they're using it to say he's guilty. And it's like, it's beyond illogical. I'm so tempted to bring it up on the screen. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. I just have to. It's just, it's too illogically silly. And I don't mean to say anyone's silly. I don't like to dismiss other people, but I have to say this is really silly. And I'm commenting on the logic, not the people. Let me pull it up. So I saw it and I was like, what on earth is going on here? I'm banned from the Delphi trial group. Again, badge of honor here. I got banned for spreading misinformation, because apparently the DSM, the diagnostic manual that we use, is misinformation, as is logic and fact. But I probably don't want to belong to a group where that's considered misinformation. Getting some snark from me now, guys. I don't care anymore, guys, about like all the people that don't like me. It's kind of funny. Also, some of the people have been a bit quiet recently. I haven't had any stalking. I'm missing my buddy Keith. Shout out Keith. No mean comments recently. What's going on? Oh no, I'm probably inciting it. I don't want to do that. Okay, so Delphi trial. Let's pull it up. Oh yeah, I have to put this on the screen for you guys. I'm still so clunky with this StreamYard thing. But bear with me. Here we go. Okay, so love this. Love this for them. Oh, I haven't put it on the stage. Give me a second. Add to stage. Yeah, love this for the awesome Delphi trials community. Basically, I said trials. Well, there will be trials, but I don't want to name and shame people on here, but you're probably going to see their details come up on the screen. I take screenshots of things when people are mean to me, but I'm not going to take a screenshot of this because they're not being mean to me. But just show you. Well, actually, I did take a screenshot. I lie. Thanks, Shibby. I'm getting good at this. Thank you. I'm taking on board feedback. I'm not being so self-deprecating. And I only literally bring up the trolling now because it's funny. I'm not bringing it up because I'm too upset by it. But it's definitely affected my confidence to begin with. Okay, so let's read this. Let's read this out. Anyone who's catching the video now, please know that I'm reading this out to point out how it's not factual. Oh, and look up here on the screen. You're currently banned from this community and cannot comment on posts. Oh, well, never mind. They probably need to ban me because I would absolutely refute this straight away. Okay, so during Shitty Ricky's first interview, not very kind there, he said he arrived a little after 12 and noticed 2 vehicles parked at the Mears entrance when he left. However, if he arrived at 12 and left at 1:30, which obviously was a lie, no, that is called the telescoping effect. If you ever watch my videos, you would know that the memory research shows that we get time wrong. But anyway, first logical debunk there. There wouldn't have been any cars parked there. That's a fact because Betsy returned at 1:46 and no cars were there. But cars were there. Betsy Blair was there between 12 and 1:15. So that doesn't even make sense, right? Her car was there. Anyway, so I'm not going to say, I don't even want to call him that. So what Rick accidentally admitted was that he saw Mike Paddy's car and Dave McCain's car parked at the Mears entrance when he actually left. What? I mean, Dave McCain, I believe, drives a little hatchback, as far as I'm aware. I don't know what Mike Paddy drives. I don't know. Does anyone know? But like, how did we figure that out? Because by the time Mike Paddy was there and Dave McCain was there were more than 2 cars there. And so Sarah Carbar did see him walking along 300. Okay, that's really logical. The other thing that I caught while listening again was that he said he doesn't remember seeing anybody else along the trails. But if he did, they didn't stand out. However, he says he remembers a group of girls because they obviously stood out. That doesn't even make sense. He does say he saw the group of girls. He never said he didn't see the group of girls. Am I attacking the whole group, Charles? No, but I'm attacking the group. I'm not attacking all the people in the group, but I am actually saying that group is unfair if you get banned from it because you have an opinion that they don't like and they call it spreading misinformation. And look, I'm not just anti the groups with lots of people who believe Rick Allen's guilty. I'm happy to shout out to my other friend, Delphi Docs, because they banned me too. And I don't like they banned me for not agreeing. Again, I don't understand why disagreement leads to being banned. I wasn't being unkind or unfriendly. What did you say, Charles? No, we shouldn't get and add a group for what one may do. Yeah. Well, I mean, the group that I have, the subreddit that I moderate, is literally nearly 50-50. So basically, actually, I think there's a few more guilt-prone people in there than innocent, that people that believe Rick Allen is innocent, not guilty people. But and I don't censor their comments, even sometimes when they're pushing it a little bit, because they really do push it a little bit. Sometimes in the way that they speak, I try not to censor people. So, Heavy, you get blocked because you mod for someone. People don't even though I've never spoken a word to them. Yeah. Well, they all didn't like me long before I got involved with, being a mod in channels and things like that. But that definitely twisted the knife for them, that's for sure. Um, okay, so that says right here he's admitting that he was really paying attention to underage girls, if he's admitting that they stood out to him while no one else on the trail stood out to him. Again, like, there's no logic behind that. Again, if you want to look at the memory research, I know you guys watched it, but most people didn't even watch that because they just wanted to comment that I was wrong without actually engaging with what the memory research says. The reason that Rick may have noticed them is, first of all, they're a group. They were louder, probably having fun, chatting. Secondly, because actually adults can sometimes be more inclined to remember younger people, particularly apparently if it's in a sort of setting that feels less safe. That definitely is the case with me. I know I've driven past kids that are like walking up the road at night and felt so inclined to be like, I will give you a lift. Please do not walk around on your own at night. Charles, yes, what would you like to say? Of course you can speak. I'm just got the screen a little bit small, so I'm just going to try and expand it a bit. Hi, Carol. Hi, Pertinent. Just having a bit of a snark time now after our beautiful green time of nature and peace. I'm now being a bit snarky about a couple of people's opinions, not about people, but about their opinions. Charles, what was your comment? Your question? I didn't see it. I may not go full screen again so I can see. Did you ask a question yet? No? I'll wait. I have nothing against any of these people as people. I'm sure that they're kind people, but I just think that, well, I mean, I'm not sure if they're kind people. I don't know if they're kind people, but it's more just they're kilted cookie. Is that for me? Get off the meds. I don't want to get off the meds because then my ADHD would be out of control and my OCD. So I kind of have to keep on the meds. Anyway, let's just go down and read some of the comments because they're quite funny. Why did he not mention seeing anyone? Well, Charles, you are showing me that you have not watched my timeline videos because I explain it quite well. So yeah, I'm going to just refer you back to those videos. Charles, go watch them. One of the things that is really annoying is that I do get people commenting, and I'm not talking about you, Charles, you're our buddy, but I get people commenting that Rick's guilty on those videos, and they clearly haven't watched the videos. So it's like, I don't need you from explanation. Huh? I'm not sure what you're saying, Charles, but when he's leaving, there is nobody on that stretch of the trails at that point. It's one of the quieter times of the trails, so there's a bit of a gap there. That's why he doesn't see anyone when he's leaving. And he potentially sees the cars from a distance. But again, attention, eye gaze, memory research says unless you're walking directly past someone, it could be quite easy to miss them. Yeah. Okay. Why didn't he give an alibi and where he was when he left? Because he just went straight home, Charles. He went home. Like, he doesn't have an alibi. And also, this is now, like, we're looking at 5 years later. Like, do you remember what you did? I probably won't remember what I did straight after that walk, that I took not yesterday, the day before. If you ask me again in a few months, like, I don't remember. So we mix days together, we mix times together, we mix activities together. Okay, yes, that's correct. He also noted in the interview that the three girls were sisters. He mentioned the older one must be babysitting. That was true as observations. Okay, that's fine. Dancing in rainbows, that's fine. You're not twisting logic there. So Rick talking about the cars he saw around 1:30 at Mears is what is damning for him. His story proved his car was on the Hoosier Harvest store by recalling the cars that were parked at Mears on his way to the trail. No, because you can see cars when you are at the fork in the road. It's 30 seconds walk between the fork, the trail split area, and the parking. And so you could see the cars parked there. If anyone wants to watch people walking those trails, you'll see it is actually possible to see cars there. Let's see. So he refused to commit to what car he drove that day. Well, again, he couldn't remember. I definitely think when you share cars with your partner, you may not remember. He refused to commit to where he parked. Again, do you remember where you parked every time? Like if you go to the trails and you park at different points each time, you're not necessarily going to remember. Charles is saying, I was just asking why he didn't say he saw anyone when he left. No other witnesses that day. Charles, you haven't watched my timeline video. I'm happy for you to explain it again, but it's all in the timeline video. So basically, when he arrives, he does see three girls. My opinion is that he does actually see the four girls, but they don't see him because they're busy talking and he just kind of walks past unnoticed. That can happen. And then on the way back, he doesn't see anyone because there is no one on the trail. So I'm talking about my timeline, though. Maybe, Charles, maybe you're talking about the earlier timeline that a lot of people stick to. I'm talking about the timeline that I've suggested. They didn't see him, Charles, because as I just explained, when I was walking on the trail the other day, I can't remember every person that I saw. And we've got to remember as well, I'm pretty sure Brie Wilbur was not, was interviewed in 2017, but she's one of the interviews that are lost, right? And they didn't interview the youngest girl at all. And interesting, isn't it, that they didn't want all four of those girls to testify? So yeah, I think I have a good way of explaining why Rick wasn't seen that day and how he saw just the people that he saw. Try Junkie saying it's lunchtime, most people are eating lunch. Yeah, and I mean, like girls, teenage girls, I can tell you, I passed, they weren't teenage girls, but they looked young, like maybe early 20s, and they did not notice me at all. They didn't look up, they didn't smile. The people who looked up and smiled at me were like couples of similar age to me. So yeah, I think, I'm sorry, divided attention. The study that I talked about in my memory video, the one about the unicycling clown, that was really interesting because literally they showed that people walking, looking at their phones, I think only 25% of them, so 3 out of 4 people did not see a clown on a unicycle, right? Like that's intense, right? People don't notice what's going on around them, particularly in this day and age when we are glued to our smartphones. But if you've got 3 girls or 4 girls and they're chatting and joking and laughing and they're taking pictures and they're on their phone, they're not going to really notice a man walk past, particularly. And I hate keeping on bringing up Rick's height because I know some people use it as a kind of nasty thing to say about him, but he is a smaller man. And so, yeah, not super noticeable, particularly if he's wearing dull clothes, walking, kind of a little bit hunched. His stature is pretty small. Like they just wouldn't necessarily notice him. We don't have a great memory for like faces that are kind of more, what's the word? Like just more average faces, I suppose. That sounds horrible. I'm not trying to judge his appearance, but I'm just saying like he looks like a normal person. Like there's nothing that would stand out about him. Also, actually, Charles, I just remembered as you were saying that, just going back, Brie Wilbur does actually say that they passed 1 or 2 people on the way back from the bridge to the trailhead. So Rayleigh, I believe, only says they see Bridge Guy, but Brie says she sees at least 1 or 2 people. So she does see him probably. So there you go. And we don't know what Anna and Isabella saw because we never heard that, right? At a trial. So we don't know. I don't know if anyone knows what they saw. And I get it. I think their parents were protecting them. It's a small town and they were young girls. So I think that might be why they didn't provide as much information to the police either. So yeah, there you go. He may have been seen, but no one would remember him because I can't remember everybody I saw, and I saw about the same number of people they would have seen that day. Yeah, so going back to this, there's more. I mean, when I go through it and I read it, I guess I don't need to point out everybody getting things wrong. Actually, this is Tom Webster, isn't it? Let's see. He says, I don't believe Rick was referencing the 4 p.m. cars. He was just lying to make it seem like someone else could be the killer and parked at Mears. I mean, that's more logical than the other argument. Um, I'll give Tom credit there. That's at least got some logic. But let's look at the rest of it. Sorry, I'm not reading it out loud at the moment. Anyway, I mean, they'll essentially though, and they'll say the same about us, I'm sure, but people will twist the narrative to say what they believe. I think my biggest issue is not having your own narrative. Hey, Al on the prowl, lovely to see you. Um, yeah, the issue isn't that you have a different opinion. The issue is when you won't listen to logic, I think, and I think if you don't know what is or isn't likely, then it's probably better to like kind of spend some time learning a bit more about it. I said that in the video the other day. I've got lots of fire this week, haven't I? I'm getting a little bit mouthy here, but it's just maddening. It's maddening when you bring up logic and people just keep saying no. And I guess what I really noticed about this case is the layers of it, because that is exactly what happens in Rick's interviews with law enforcement. He keeps bringing up the same things and they just keep shutting him down and, saying, no, you were there. This is your car. And he's like, that, how can you even tell that's anybody's car? And they're like, no, we can. We know it's your car. And it's just like, in that case, we know that law enforcement are lying to him. They have not confirmed that that's his car. There is no eyewitness that saw him. So when people do that, it just doesn't feel like a good faith argument. Anyway, rant over, guys. The two cars, this is exculpatory, guys, because the SUV is Betsy Blair and the sedan is Kelsey German. And it explains why Rick Allen was not seen on his way back to his car. It explains why Betsy Blair and him didn't actually see each other. It explains a lot. I'm pretty happy with that timeline now. It makes a lot of sense. Only thing that I kind of still wanted to look at was the 505. I'd love to actually be on that trail and have a look at the distance between the 505 bench and the trail split and the mirrors and what you can and can't see. I think that would be the best field study ever. Got to get one of our friends in Indiana to go and do that for us at some point. So anyone wants to volunteer, please do that. Trial Junkie saying, why was there some weird meeting where the sheriffs were county council that day, the girls' side? Yeah, I don't know. I think I've heard something about that, though. Yeah, lots of weird stuff, right? A lot of weird stuff going on in the Delphi case. But I think that there's been a real surge of stuff coming through that can help clarify Rick Allen's innocence and prove it at a retrial. But I guess the first hurdle is the appeal process. So we got a few weeks to wait to learn more about what happens at the appeal process, and hopefully it's a reversal of conviction. But even if it isn't, if it's a retrial, then hopefully they will use all of this evidence. I think they will. I think that they're looking into all of these things, and I think that they'll have different angles at retrial. Trial Junkie says you would call him short. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm an average size female, so 5'5". I'm changing my height now, Diana. I'm probably 5'5", 5'5.5", 5'6"-ish. And yeah, that 5'2" is a lot shorter. My mum. Oh, not 5'2". Why am I saying 5'2"? 5'4" is a lot shorter. My mum's about 5'3", 5'4". So yeah, everyone says that. Like face to face. Like I think on a video or whatever, it doesn't look so much like that, like in the interviews and stuff. But face to face, or walking past him, you would notice his height. I think you would. And yeah, I'm just reading the comments. So. Shibby says, Eddie Moffat, he drives a unicycle around the trails and goes across the bridge outside the CPS. Oh, I would definitely want to check that one out, Shibby. I'm going to definitely look at that one. Because I searched but I couldn't find like every single video, because in the search box on YouTube, you can only, you can search for recency, but I actually literally wanted to search like for things that were like 6 or 7 or 8 years old. Like I wanted older ones. So I'll definitely check that out, Shibby, for sure. Could you actually, Shibby, could you comment that as well, like as a main comment? Because sometimes these, oh no, actually I can still access this after, can't I? Because sometimes it takes a while for the live chat to come up. Charles says depends on your height. Nah, but Charles, come on, like we're we're not talking children that he was walking past that day. He was walking past adolescent girls, potentially, and adults, and so 5'4" is a short height for an adult man. So I do think they would notice. I really do. Pertinent says, you think this case is divided into 4 theories: satanic Odin, CSAM, meth corruption, random fantasy murder. Yeah, there really are. I mean, the random fantasy murder is just the least likely, though, isn't it? Really, statistically, I will continue to say this till the end of this case, if there ever is an end, and that is, if Rick Allen is guilty, he is a forensic unicorn. I am short, Charles. I would be short for you, for sure, for sure. I dated someone who was 6'4", and my goodness, yes, that's a lot taller than me. I mean, most of I do go for taller people, definitely. But my ex-husband, was 5'11", and I was still significantly shorter than him. Going back to the different theories, yeah, I mean, the three ones around like sort of more organized kind of groups are far more likely. They are definitely more likely. Thanks, Child Junkie. I will keep putting out my content, and I'm not paying attention mostly because of you guys. Like when I first started out, I didn't have anybody like to support me. Like literally, either I would get ignored or I would get trolled. And then I was lucky enough to join Prof's chat and meet some of the wonderful people here. And I definitely credit Diana as a big part of this, because Diana, you have just been a beautiful friend to me and really promoted me in my channel, and you're super kind. And then Shibby and Hebby and Carol and Al and the Prowl, and oh gosh, I can't say all of your names because there's so many of you guys that just keep coming back. And yeah, I credit you guys with like being interested in my content and helping me to get more of a reach. And then finally people started to listen to me, because I think I mean, I like having a chat anyway, and I think we all enjoy having a bit of a chat together. Thank you guys. I love all of you too. You become my besties. But I love chatting. So I was going to start a YouTube channel quite soon anyway, that is for parents and for individuals, like therapy type stuff. I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel that's basically dedicated to demystifying therapy and parenting. Charles, you too. You've promoted me too. Sorry, I missed you there. I'm so sorry, Charles. You are, I missed you. I was so focused on all the people who think Rick's innocent and I left you out. I'm sorry. That's mean. Now it's like we're like excluding you because you're having a different opinion to us. Yeah, so I always was going to have a YouTube channel. I'm still going to do that. That one's going to have a way better setup. I've got like this super duper expensive camera that's still in the box and a big tripod and stuff like that. But that's my professional channel, and that one I will not hide behind my Daisy Asks name and stuff. I mean, I haven't hidden. I've definitely shown my face on the channel, but the main reason I don't at the moment isn't because I'm trying to hide. It's because I still hate my chemo hair. I'm just like being really vain here, but it looks so ugly because it's just growing in at weird lengths, and I just can't tame it, and I don't feel like my best self. So I don't want to show up on the screen looking like that. But I keep losing my train of thought, guys. Yeah, so when I started, I knew I had good ideas. Like I'm going to like say that. Like I know that my brain is particularly good at pulling things together and integrating things. That is my job essentially, but it's also the reason I chose that job. So I know that I'm clever, and I don't feel bad saying that. Like it's definitely true. I know how to integrate information and to think outside the box and find details that are missed, right? And so I'm proud of myself for that. And I know that for various reasons, but one being that I have had legal minds and prominent legal minds show interest in stuff that I'm saying about this case. I'm not going to screenshot and show who those people are because that actually is, that lacks integrity. It's not my style. But maybe one day it will come out, when everything is sorted. But yeah, I know I have good ideas. I know that I'm finding things that others haven't found, and I'm not saying they haven't found good things too, because they have. But anyway, um, so I know that the content speaks for itself, but I do also think that I'm a good chatterbox, and yeah, I think I'd love to do radio and things like that too. And particularly when I'm feeling confident. You can tell the difference when I'm feeling more anxious and I'm overthinking every word and I start stuttering and I start second guessing myself. But once I'm in the zone and just chatting, you get to see the real me, the me that my clients see. And yes, I go at a million miles an hour. I'm very overexcitable, but that's not a bad thing. I like that about myself because that's just my identity. Um, Diana's saying integration is what we do for sure. For sure. You forgot what you were going to say, Diana. Yeah, that happens to me all the time. Yeah, but shout out to Prof as well because he did support me when people were being so nasty to me. And I know people will always talk about, not people, there are people who talk about Prof and say, horrible things about him and that he bullies them, but Prof responds to people who are being nasty. He's not unprovoked. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't pick apart other people's stuff, which we're allowed to do, just like I just did just then, picking apart that post. But in terms of like when he gets cranky at people, I can understand why he gets cranky at them because I've been victim of a lot of the same people and they're brutal. Like there's no reason for somebody to call me dumbass and all of the other things that they've called me just because they disagree with me and because I'm confident about having a different opinion. It's just, yeah. So I think he speaks out around that. He gets cranky. I remember him saying quite early on when we were talking that he's trying to manage his anger sometimes when he's doing that. But yeah, like at the end of the day, reactive anger is very different to what we call instrumental kind of aggression, which is more what I see with some of the people who try to silence and mock control people like myself who are not actually doing any harm. But anyway, yeah, so Prof and I, like the reason that I like Prof is because he's fair and warm and he supported me when nobody else would, along with you guys. And so, yeah, I don't understand the need for people to be so argumentative. I mean, I would befriend the people who've trolled me if they wanted to. And in fact, I mean, some of the stories I can tell you about some of the people who I, got closer to over time on this case initially were not people that I got on very well with. I found them, dismissive or they were like a nemesis, but then we found common ground and now we have a good relationship with each other. But I just don't know that that's possible with some of the people who troll me because it's like no matter what, even when we've got this common ground against the people who are trolling us because we believe Rick's innocent, they still feel the need to put me down. And that's not okay because I don't put people down. I will never put people down. I mean, I'm not going to say never. I'm sure I have when I've argued with someone, but I really try so hard not to ruin other people's well-being. So, were you a bad troll, Charles? You've never been mean to me, so I can't complain. Everybody in here is amazing and lovely, and yeah, yeah, pertinent. It is a contest to prove who's right. And the thing is, I always use this analogy. I came into this case like a puppy dog going, hey, guys, guess what, guys? I found some bones. Do you want some bones? Let's all have some bones together. And they made it seem like I came in saying, I have the bones. I'm better than all of you. And that's not what I was doing. But I think people confuse conviction and confidence in ideas and excitability with arrogance. And then the more that people don't listen to me, the more I do repeat myself, which then makes me seem more arrogant. And then I do start to kind of want to prove them wrong. So I become competitive, and I really wasn't competitive to begin with. But then you start to go, well, if you're going to keep trying to poke holes in me, well, then I'll poke holes in what you're saying too. However, when I poke holes in what they're saying or doing, I still do it with warmth because I just don't see the need to character assassinate people. So I'm proud of myself because I don't think that I have. I think, the worst thing that I've ever said, maybe on one live chat one day when I was really cranky, I said that someone, was acts like a little boy, or something like that, boring. That's probably about the worst comments that I've made in this community. I mean, maybe a different thing off the camera with my family, but it's the kids, my kids. They love to use the word poo poo brain. So I think, Diana, you'll know who poo poo brain is, and maybe a few of the rest of you will too. Anyway, yeah. So I really was supposed to go, wasn't I, guys? It's 3:15, and I've had 2 missed calls, so they're probably work calls while I've been rambling here, and I've got to do my work and then go for my lovely massage. Diana, who do I have the most issue with, Diana? And it would be quite. Oh no, that was mean. I was going to say no. I won't say it. I am productive procrastinating. I mean, this case is important, right? I always justify it by saying Rick Allen's case will go into my book that I'm writing, and it will be a story, and it has been a story that I share with my clients. I actually cheered up a client who was really upset the other day, telling her the story about me being accused of being anti-Semitic and a white supremacist. It really made her laugh, and she was really depressed that day. So you know what? We're getting some good content from this for therapy too. Prof was mad, was he? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just because the vitriolic kind of stuff just never stops. Why can't they just get over it? Honestly, if Delphi, Docs, and Keith, who have been the biggest trolls of me, were suddenly nice to me, I would be okay. I wouldn't need to well, not that I mean, I don't do what they do in the first place. I'm still nice anyway. But anyway, I don't get it. I don't get why they do that. But all I know is that Prof's chat was the chat that I felt seen in. A lot of you guys were in there, and a lot of you actually bothered to engage with me. I'd be in those other chats going, oh, have you thought about this? Or trying to just be friendly to people and share resources. And I'd get ignored, or I'd just get a little nod and a smile, but they wouldn't actually ever follow through or listen. So yeah, I still think that the Profs community, the chat, is kind. I don't hear people being nasty. I don't see division. Because even within that other community, there's division. They turn on each other. They literally turn. Suddenly it's one minute you think they're friends, and the next minute they're kind of getting into I was going to use another Aussie term, biffo. Don't know if you guys have heard of biffo. A biffo with each other. I should do a video of all the Australianisms for you guys. You're going to really enjoy the panel of psychologists too, guys, because we all have different accents. So you're going to have to see if you can guess what Ash and Mel's backgrounds are, because we all come from different backgrounds. So they were both born in different countries and moved to Australia. So yeah, there you go. I'm the most Australian sounding, but I was born in England. So I can put on this voice too. I used to sound a lot like Kate Middleton because I grew up near Windsor. Anyway, guys, all right, I really got to go. I think my meds are wearing off. I'm getting a bit crazy and hyperactive. Not crazy, guys. I don't like using that word, but I'm getting hyper. My ADHD is kicking back into gear. Anyway, guys, lovely to see you. I do agree, Child Junkie. There's a lot of narcissistic traits that are showing up for sure. Thank you so much, Carol. You're lovely. Thank you, Shibby. Thank you, Hebby. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Pertinent. Thank you, Trial Junkie. Thank you, Charles. I won't forget you, Charles. Thank you, Gretchen. Who else has been chatting a lot? Who am I missing? Am I missing you guys? Nicole. Oh, my memory is terrible. I'm going back over and make sure I haven't missed anyone who's been chatting a lot today. And everybody else who's been lurking and watching. Skinny, I missed you, Skinny. Sorry. I love your comments. You're always so positive and kind. You guys are super super kind. And I will show my face again soon. My hair is nearly long enough to be a bob. So you wait. I'm gonna reveal my glamorous post cancer look, but we'll just need to give it a couple more months. All right, bye guys. Love you all too. Have a lovely, lovely night, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.